guys, to more of dystopian horror in the journey through Malbog. We apologize for the delay and technical errors. Typical, of course, that one of the potentially last days of this campaign is when we're going to have technical errors, proving that not even the universe wants us to stop. So, welcome back. I am, as always, when it comes to this storyline, your fateful, hellish, and cruel dungeon master, Martin. With me today, I have our usual great cast of players ready to perform their characters, or at least most of them. One of them. More can be joining later, and until then, I will be taking over the role of those characters, and we will try to best to continue the story and see what may come of it. As always, we are still sitting in the midst of a pandemic, and these times are difficult and are hitting Dystopia quite hard. And there are various things on screen for you to support us through these hard times, either through kind donation by mobile pay, which is always much appreciated. There is Patreon, where I assume that you get some kind of goodie for donating, though don't hold me to that. That's just usually how patrons work. Both are available on screen. And lastly, the Dystopia merch store during these times. Often a cut to them for buying the things in their store, various cool loot and awesome gear. A cut of it will also go to COVID research so that we can hopefully end this pandemic just that little bit sooner, so you can get to hug your loved ones and French kiss your dogs. Maybe not the last one. Before I begin the summary of how we've gotten to our current point in the story, if each of my wonderful players would like to introduce themselves and give their hellos. It appears that as we're beginning, tech is breaking further as no one can hear Tywin speak. In that case, while we're getting that fixed up, I'm guessing the wireless headset ran out of power. I will begin the summary of what happened last time, where our glorious adventurers managed to make their way out of the Tower of Avon, where each of them had lost pieces of their souls and hang on to a slither. The Tormentor, a strange shape-shifting, hell-traversing being, came to meet them, bringing back Leonard from some distant place of hell that he was sent to. He took them to a dining room. This somehow made them escape the tower itself, the curse that was put upon them by being there. Each of them has however lost a piece of their soul and feels emptier for it, but some was returned by quote-unquote winning the tower challenge, even if brought out by another hellish being. This shapeshifter was calling himself the Tormentor, and brought them to his hellish dungeon for a fine dinner party consisting of various forms of maggoty courage, rotten fruit, ill drinks, and various less than nourishing things that could be stomach-turning for most people. In this very chamber as well, Kodaki gave a little into his lustful sin and ended up embracing it and gotten certain powers, which he attempted to use to battle Leonard, who ended up consuming him in the end, falling that further step into gluttony, losing more of humanity. Most of the party was battling among themselves in this hellish dining hall, while in the meanwhile, Tywin found himself dragged to the back torture chamber to experience excruciating pain on his physical shell. Trying to keep up his prideful exterior and show that he couldn't be hurt by the Tormentor. However, this attempt was only partially successful, as your face can only hide so much horrid pain at the hands of the Tormentor. In the end, the party came to rescue him and struck a deal with the Tormentor that if they were to reveal their secrets of the strange arcane power they've discovered in hell that no other fiend seemed to be able to use, in turn the tormentor would assist them in finding a way out of his dungeon. The deal was made, and both upheld their part of the bargain. The party told everything they knew of their arcane power, and the tormentor in turn showed them to the halls of nightmare and anguish, where each one had to walk through horrid visions, each taking steps alone, having to experience this in solitude. Leonard having to come to terms with what is becoming him, what he is changing into, this horrid monster of eternal hunger, figuring what he might consume next. He's already eaten one friend in this strange, deranged madness. What else might he consume as he dabbles further and further into this strange sickness, losing his humanity? Zeke had to experience complete ridicule and loneliness, surrounded by crowds of people, but all of them ridiculing or ignoring him, finding himself delving deeper into a pit of loneliness, and eventually finding themselves as the only person screaming about the fact that nothing gets better. Zeke grew up alone, lived alone, and was dreading now to die alone. Tywin, finding himself in silent, long hallways where eventually the door and floor gave away. Yet it didn't feel like he was falling. There was no light, but nor was it dark. Enough to the point where he couldn't tell whether his eyes were open anymore, whether he was stepping on something as he moved his legs. Just this dead, quiet, empty space that he was falling through. As the various members made it through, and each got a piece of what they truly desired, Zeke managed to reach out and pull a thread of fate, binding himself to Tywin, dragging Tywin out of this hellish place that was this abyss of nothing. The party, through these experiences, reunited again outside the tall walls of Malborg at the city entrance. And here is where we will return to the party, Tywin and Zeke embracing each other, happy to see each other and be reunited with people, becoming trustful allies throughout this tale, and Leonard being kept distant away from the sheer fear that he's already eaten one of them. What is stopping him from eating more? This is the part where I would ask our player what he wished to do in this situation. However, the technical issue is getting progressively worse, and now there is just me and my ever-loyal tech guy who is hiding in the shadows like out of Batman, never seen but always here. And worry not, we are trying to fix this as fast as possible. But for the purpose of this, I suppose this will not take over the later break, but we're going to go ahead and take a short break until this is fixed. For I have nothing but spoilers to give, and spoilers nobody wants. At least a short one until this is fixed. right, that should be everything working, hopefully. And we are ready to begin our story. So, Tywin, last we left off, you were outside the tall walls of Malborg, close to the entrance of this strange place, finding your features changing in an embrace with Seek, who also is losing some pigment that was previously more reddish, both keeping a distance from Leonard, who has these days been known to do less kind actions towards his friends.
Yes.
So, standing in this strange predicament, finally out of these halls of anguish and nightmares, what do you wish to do?
Just I'm going to well go for Malborg, really. See what I can do to further enhance this predicament.
All right, so you want to walk into the city, yeah?
Yes.
All right. You start walking inwards. Leonard seems to shrug his shoulders and follow on, and Seek grabs your arm from the embrace. You go, are you sure that's a good idea? We just got out of there. I mean, not there, but last time we went there, things got pretty bad. Though maybe we can find some friends there. I remember the line guy, he was pretty cool about a lot of things. He was pretty friendly with us. Dear viewers, don't you just love live streaming and all the great things with it? Like everything always working perfectly as soon as you click the start stream button, and the fact that everyone is always ready when you're telling stories. Joking aside, it's been a mess. There we go.
Yeah, I'm back. So sorry, what Seek was saying something.
Yes, then I was shrugging his shoulders and getting ready to follow with. Also edging somewhat closer to the group that's been keeping a decent 6 feet distance or more from what used to be a humanoid Leonard and is now a Leonard that you can't quite trust based on his actions. Zeke was questioning whether it was a good idea to head in towards the city, but then responded with the fact that he is quite friendly with the Q guy at the line of despair, so maybe it isn't all that bad.
We could try. I mean, what's the worst that could happen, really? We're still in hell, no matter what.
Yeah, but you and I are a little different. We could go back to that boat guy. He was like the first friend we made down here, and I don't know. He said we should do something where we weren't as evil looking, and you are less evil looking now.
That's true. Maybe we should go talk to him.
Do you remember where he is?
Somewhere along the river, I guess.
And so with that, the group starts heading towards the river. So unless anyone else would like to initiate the check, if Tywin, you would like to give me a survival check with advantage as Zeke is assisting you.
Yes. Mm, Come on. when you're looking for the appropriate dice. $16.
16, very good. So you and Seek manage to go around and you start to realize a few things about the wastelands of this plane of hell. Other than the blasted craters and strange soul shriekers around the sky that seem to threaten, you start moving around and realize that things don't quite stand still. New craters have formed, smoke billowing from different plates. You try to look towards where the tower was placed, and it's no longer there. And you do remember distinctly where the river goes. The river was next to Malborg, floating almost through it when you first went here. But as you start walking and navigating, the river isn't placed there. But with a 16 survival check to navigate, you do manage to look around this wasted blast land and make some understanding of the terrain. And after a bit, you do manage to spot in the distance the long river Styx that you first found, what you deemed and named the boatman.
Well, oh, it's over there, so let's go there and then follow the river upwards. I guess that would be the best way.
I don't know. I feel like the further we head away from the city, the worse it gets. At least we know this place. We don't know what's over there.
That's true.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he was a friend, and friends are always there for each other. So I'm sure if we go to the river, he'll just show up and greet us.
We can at least try.
Yeah, I suppose.
So I start walking.
Yeah. So the party heads on towards the river. It doesn't take you too long as you find yourself moving closer, and as you're walking, it seems like the river is getting closer as well. Uh, with your sharp intellect, Tywin, you start to figure out that the wasteland might be only partially real and partially illusionary, as it seems that things are only obvious as you approach them and otherwise tend to stay hidden to make it more likely to get lost at these blasted places. So, despite looking over to the river and figuring this is going to be at least a 2 hour walk, you find yourself there in a matter of 20 minutes instead, as the river becomes significantly larger as you approach it. As you do approach, you also start to notice the various soul shriekers that would go around the blasted land seem to look down towards you with this hungry look in its expression as it starts to sharpen its talons. What would you like to do as you notice these hostile creatures start to enclose and float in circles around?
I tell the others that this is happening, and ask if they'll help if push comes to shove.
I think we should probably try to lay low and not engage with them. Seek says, in which Leonard responds, "I don't know. I feel a lot better than I used to. I think this time I can take him if, as you say, push comes to shove."
Yes, but it is going to be a last resort. We don't really need to engage them
I don't know.
unless they attack first.
Those birds look awfully inviting.
Yes,
No,
but that's not.
I think Tywin is right. I don't think we should start any fights with anyone. Maybe if we don't start the fight, they're just gonna come up and be friendly. But just in case, let's try to be less seen. And with that, Seek would like to try to initiate a stealth check. Tywin, as the tiebreaker of this, what is your conclusion?
I think we should go the more stealthy way.
Very well. Then, if you would once again like to lead the check roll with a stealth check with advantage because Zeke is still assisting you.
$14.
14. With a 14, as these various birds are swooping around the sky, they haven't quite managed to get to your position yet, circling around. And you seem to be able to give them a slip thanks to most of the smoke that seemed to protrude across the hellish cracks on the ground, managing to obscure each other. That and the greyish flesh of Leonard that seems to take the position between you as he is hungrily staring at them also seem to make for quite a decent rock. And with that, in total, you do manage to sleep unnoticed through as you notice these horrid creatures seem to try to fly away, seemingly intrigued by something else.
So that was interesting. I mean, they attacked us before, but this time they seemed hungry, almost.
I don't blame them. Hunger is, well, something you'd better fix quick. Starvation is painful, especially these days.
Yes, but you're hungry always at the moment, aren't you?
Hey!
No, it was a legit question. Isn't that how it is right now?
Yeah, but I really want to not do this to myself. I don't exactly look good naked anymore.
We'll figure out something.
Yeah,
I mean,
I would like that.
Seek helped me. She probably ends up being the one that helps everyone.
Thank you. As you
Just
approach
telling the truth.
the river, it seems that, strangely enough, as miraculous as it seems, as you get close, this strange boat and figure attached to it with an oar seems to spring out of the hellish uh, uh, magma river. That was the words. And you have to be careful not to let the various splashes and droplets of magma hit you, much like someone trying to fry bacon in a pan without a shirt on. As the figure emerges out of the river and looks towards you beneath the hooded, empty eye sockets and all, these strange knickknacks of keys, skulls, fingers, vials, and feathers around their side and various tic-tacs and knacks, approaches you. Well, it seems you've returned.
Yes. What is happening here? I don't exactly look like they do anymore.
Yes, exceeding your goals. You're absolving yourself from sin.
But is it supposed to be physically painful to walk and physically be in this space as I absolve myself?
Yes, humans aren't meant for hell. You're stepping on coals, and your body is no longer resistant to it. Your feet will burn more and more as you become human again. But when you're human, you can leave.
When that happens, how do we leave?
You come to me bearing offerings of passage, and I, through the river Styx, brings you to earth.
Thank you for the advice.
As you absolve yourself of sin, be wary of fiends. When you don't belong to a sin, others will try to claim you. So as you become human, be careful of those that would eat you and make you into one of the gems that you've all consumed with time.
I'll try my best.
And remember, bring the offering. Otherwise, there's no passage at all. But what is the offering? What is it we have to bring? Surely you know the stories.
So, silver coins?
Actually, I think it's gold coins. 2 of them per person.
One for each eyelid, I guess.
Yes.
Do you know where we would find gold coins down here?
That is your goal. If it was easy, everyone would get out. At least everyone who could cross the path.
Okay. Sounds like we need to get further away from the town, because if it was easy, it would be readily accessible, and if it was readily accessible, everyone would try and claim it. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I think if there's any coin to be had, it must be refined. Why would there be coins in a forest? I mean, I've seen forests. There isn't just gold lying around.
True, but they don't exactly deal in gold.
Um,
Not that we've seen at
uh,
all.
Actually, I've seen some gold in the city.
You have?
Remember the first day when I went into a tavern to get drunk? The tavern guy
Yeah.
offered that I could either trade for soul gems, sorry, or I could trade for a single coin.
Oh.
Malborg is the city of trade, after all. If there's trade, it's in Malborg.
So we have to go back there.
Or you have to find outsiders who procured coins. There might be exiles around.
Hmm.
You could always try the hollower again if you're feeling up for his challenges.
I mean, we are smarter now than we were before, but it's still treacherous. So, well, the city it is then, I guess.
I don't know, this hollower guy doesn't seem so bad. I wasn't there for very long, but didn't seem like there was much trouble, other than maybe a broken window.
Oh, you don't know it. If you die, you cease to exist.
Yeah, he was pretty weird, but he was a decent friend. He gave us hint that he lives in a weird stone. It's it's a super weird place, but I'm guessing he's just really lonely and he really needs the friends. Um, so yeah, but yeah, we were there and things weren't very fun.
No, it wasn't. That was really bad.
So I guess we go to the city. I mean, it's better than going around this weird place and hoping to find something. And the Hollower is like a good friend, but I don't know. I feel like you shouldn't visit your friends too often, otherwise I get annoyed with you. So let's wait with visiting him for a little bit.
Yeah. So to the town we go. Question mark?
Well, it seems that the party is mostly in agreement. So as the party leaves the River Styx and the boatman who was placed there and head back towards Malborg. Also, we'll take a short moment, as mentioned, to have one of our glorious players return to us in the flesh, as Leonard returns to take over Leonard as Leonard.
Woohoo!
Uh,
Sorry, I'm late.
well, all right. We're just glad you're here. So while you were gone, just to give a quick summary so you're up to date, you were outside the gates of, the walls of Malborg, below the entrance. Sieg and Tywin were hugging after escaping the halls of Nightmare. Each talked about what to do next. The party said that they should try to go to the boatman to see to get some answers to what's going on, as both Sieg and Tywin are losing their reddish skin and horns. The party went there. Birds almost attacked. Leonard considered eating them. The party said that they should hide instead, so they hid and barely managed to sneak past them. Got to the boatman. Boatman answered some questions, said that they need to absolve themselves of further sin and acquire 2 gold coins each to seek passage out of hell. And that is currently the goal, as the party is headed back towards the city of Malborg to try to acquire coins. They did figure out that they could get them in Malborg because on the first day in that tavern, Leonard was offered, if he won the game of beer pong, he could either get 2 soul gems or a large soul gem, or he could get a gold coin. He opted for the gem, now knowing that the coin might be more valuable, as it's a ticket out if you are absolved of sin.
Well, I'm not absorbed of sin.
No,
I
but
haven't.
we others are getting there.
With that in mind, you head on back to Malborg. Both Sieg and Tywin are walking with strained expressions on their face, almost jumping instead of walking, as each step is stepping on coals over and over again as the warm ground. Much like when you travel to those southern countries like Egypt and you say, hey, I can walk to the pool from this shade without my sandals on, and you quickly regret it from those hot stones. It's generally unpleasant. That's every step, but just that little bit worse, where you know you couldn't even attempt to take it. It is awful. And for the first time in hell, now that you are more human, you are sweating. The heat is almost exhausting. Everything is just awful. And you're starting to understand why this place is called hell. And you're gathering that maybe the sin you had committed was giving you some sort of defense. So now you have to slowly tackle the choice of sinful and comfortable or virtuous but home.
Why don't you guys ride me?
Because that you, when Kodaki tried to get close to you, you accidentally ate him, and I don't particularly want to get eaten.
Well, that was a different case. I didn't offer him to get close to me. If you get my drift.
Would you
No.
be able to control yourself?
Probably.
Leonard, it does smell like bacon around hell all of a sudden.
Yeah, I farted. My skin stinks, but my fart smells surprisingly good.
Or it could be us. It
Assuming
could be us.
of which could exclude gases.
So, are you gonna ride me?
I don't know. It seems dangerous.
Come on, get on.
Leonard, if you would try to give me a persuasion check
Oh,
to see how believable you are in terms of,
shit.
or you could also make it a deception check depending on what you believe. You don't have to say what it is. You just tell me the result, and then you decide whether you're being honest or not.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Well, it was a 20, and then plus 4, so 24.
Very good. In that case, despite looking worried, you seem to be able to foster with your multiple mouths a innocent-looking smile, and Zeke eventually says, "Okay, we are really good friends. We've been through a lot. I I trust you, Leonard." And she starts climbing up upon your form.
Cool.
Sorry. He starts climbing up on your form. I keep messing up that Sane is not Zeke. Zeke is Zeke.
Cool. I want to keep walking now. We can get to the bar.
Very well. And so you take the walk towards Malbork entering the city. Zeke does seem surprisingly comfortable, not currently burning his feet, but the sweating, panting, and just at this point, just bordering on soaked clothing from sheer bodily fluids is becoming heavy.
Well, at least he's sitting on a big beanbag.
Very true. And you do manage to make your way towards the bar. Where Leonard, you see a familiar face behind the same single-horned, large, single-eyed, ogre-like figure with these spikes protruding out of their arms, the deep red skin, and just polishing a large mug and having plenty of casks in the bag. And as you enter, "Hey there, it's a while since I saw you."
Hey, my guy. I beat you in beer pong, didn't I?
Did. We fought fair and square, but in the end, you did win. And to the victor goes the spoils.
Yeah, I lost that big green gem, so can I have a coin?
No, what you do with your winnings does not matter to our deal.
Cool. Can I have a beer?
Certainly. How do you wish to pay?
I can. How can I pay?
We accept soul gems.
Tywin, do you have any soul gems?
No, I don't.
Zeke, do you have any soul gems?
Allow me to check because I think I wrote it down last time. I believe Zeke has one left after using most of his to free Tywin at the table.
Cool. Zeke, give me that one soul stone. Or soul gem. I really need it.
Well, it's my last one, and in case I need to use those,
I just carried you, so give me that gem.
Why, I don't know. It feels like it's really important to us.
You're sitting on me and I can make mouths appear all over my body. Give me the gem.
Gives you the gem.
Fantastic. I would like to pay with this.
Very well. It seems like a subtle gem, so a single cup it shall be. Do you have a preference for your liquor?
Well, I really like an Aberfeldy whiskey, 12 years old. They get served in like a gold box, normally, the bottle. Do you have it?
I don't have that specifically. What I do have as a replacement is Oakcast Tarquin, 300 years casked.
Is it good?
I like it.
Then give it to me.
Very well. Go ahead and drink deeply. As this large figure does hand you a mug, what he didn't specify is the mug is about his hand size. So rather large. Correct. Yep, accurate. And as you get up on the table and climb halfway across the mug to look down into it, it appears that maybe the name of it isn't as ironic as it might be meant to be, as you see this like complete black liquid that is not at all see-through, and it looks to be quite viscous.
Yummy. Tywin, do you want a taste?
Really not. But do you think you would be able to take him down in another round of beer pong?
Maybe. But I don't have anything to bet now that I just used the one soul gem.
You have one thing though.
What? The drink?
No. A soul.
Me? You really think that I have one of those?
No. But I do. And that would be a barter that he would that would be a pretty big barter, right?
Yeah. Barkeep!
Yes.
I want to play another round of beer pong.
Very well. What are we bargaining for?
I'm bargaining his soul. And plot twist, I'm not pointing at Tywin, I'm pointing at Zeke.
Interesting. I would agree to the deal if that soul belonged to you. I smell the ownership of a sin on you, though it is faint. If you further cleanse them of whatever sin they had committed, I gladly take that deal.
Well, let's say, if you win the game, then we will go out and cleanse the souls completely and then come right back to you. But if I win, I want all the gold coins you have.
A soul is not worth that much gold.
No, but it's quite a lot of work to cleanse them just so you can have them. So a little compensation would be nice.
I'll make you a deal. I agree to your terms of ownership of his soul if you cleanse him completely. Then they will be mine and my claim. In return, I offer you 7 gold coins.
Ooh. So if I win, I win 7 gold coins, and if you win, you get the soul.
Soul you have to work to cleanse.
Yes, but I only have to work if you win.
Correct.
What do you think, Tywin? Sound like a deal?
I'm not entirely happy with this.
Shut up, Zeke.
Oh, I don't want to lose my soul.
Shush.
Your soul is not the one up for grabs. It's mine.
No. It's pretty much Zeke's that I just bargained away.
Yeah, I'm not going for that.
Cool. Okay, can we switch it so it's that guy's soul instead?
Were you pointing towards?
Tywin.
Making sure. Yes. Yes, you can. You can do the switch because the deal hasn't been agreed upon yet. Well,
Okay.
the one offering the soul must be willing, unless you own it already. And
I am willing to give away my soul for this deal.
If we lose.
then I believe it is you I'm forming a deal with. I do, however, accept you choose this creature as your champion to compete.
I do.
So let's go over this. If I win, he must work with you to cleanse your soul, which will be mine afterwards. Agreed?
Yes.
And if you win, I give you 7 gold coins.
Yes. That is the deal.
A deal is forged then. I will bring out the table.
Cool. I'll finish my drink.
You want to finish it? All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna drink my drink.
Yeah, as you peer down and eventually fall into the muck, much like Asterix and Obelix falling into the large cauldron, Tywin, you could smell the more ichor than ale from the distance. It was quite frankly foul, and from your knowledge with various materials, definitely horribly flammable. However, to you, Leonard, this subtle, succulent, tasty nectar that may be more like trying to drink jam from a jar is divine. You have never tasted such divine ambrosia in your life before, and it is incredible.
Are you okay down there?
I got love in my tummy. Yeah, I'm good. This is good. This is,
Okay.
really good.
Yeah.
I don't know, it smelled really bad.
Yummy,
It really
yummy,
does.
yummy. I got love in my tummy.
As you are watching Leonard take a bath in a mug, a large table is brought out, and beer pong is being set up with the equivalent of a bowling ball as a bowl, and 5 large kegs of dark ale placed upon it. And he steps up to one side of the table, puts the ball in the center between the various kegs. Now, as the one being challenged, I believe I get to do the first throw.
Go for
Yes.
it, my man.
Much appreciated. All right. So he takes the bowling ball in between his point finger and thumb and flicks it up, and it lands into one of the barrels. Yet it does float in water, or what hopefully could once have been water.
Tywin, you're gonna drink this one. It's kind of nice.
I do not believe you, but I will at least try.
All right,
My
Ty,
man.
if you would give me a Constitution saving throw.
Yes.
You are about to empty a barrel of ale.
Yes. I'm just going to look at my the I don't remember the names. My proficiencies and stuff, because I rolled an 18 plus 2, so 20.
Right. So you cannot lift the barrel above you. It's a little too heavy for that. But you can dip your head into it, much like you were diving for apples, until you eventually find with your arm muscles you are hoisting your body downwards, much like reverse pull-ups, trying to empty the entire barrel. Eventually, with Leonard's help, you tip it to the side and finish the last drops. That is a lot. You are definitely feeling the alcohol, but you're keeping it down, and you are feeling bloated, a little sick, but you're keeping it down. And with that, you can go ahead and grab the ball at the bottom of the barrel and get ready for another throw.
Yeah, give
So-
it to me. I'm gonna throw.
Yeah, so Leonard, if you would go give me an athletics check.
Yes, sir. Right. Let me just. Oh, fuck. Athletics. I'm not good at athletics. Right. 7.
7. All right, so you toss the ball high, and you end up just hitting sharp one of the first barrels as it lands onto the table and starts rolling off on the floor, at which the large form that is the button that grabs it and goes, "A fair try."
I would like to call on the tradition on Earth, which is the do-over.
I
Just-
think it admirable that you embrace the culture of your people. However, we reside in hell, and hell doesn't do mercy. It is
Oh, so you don't respect other people's cultures?
no.
Oh, you don't, do you?
He throws the ball and hits into another keg,
Just let it go,
splashes
man.
around.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. I was messing around. I didn't really hear what he did.
He threw a ball and hit into one of the barrels, and it splashed up around. Quite a heavy throw.
Oh, shit. I'm gonna drink this one.
And give me a Constitution saving throw.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Saving. Sure. What is 8? 18!
18, very good. So you start sipping, preparing for this to be a horrid experience of that much liquid pouring in. You saw Tywin do it, and he didn't look that great afterwards, looked quite dizzy and pale, and especially quite heaving for breath trying to take such a deep dive. So you start taking a small sip, getting ready to stop to breathe. It's good. It's real good. So you take another sip and another sip, and you use your massive form to hoist the barrel up and just drink deep of it and empty it, much like it was just a normal beer from back on your earthen days. And you clap it up on the table, and with a large smile, and you almost want to ask for another and remember, oh, this is not what this is about.
Right. Not what it's about. Tywin, do you want to have a throw?
Yeah, actually, I want to try and have a throw.
All right. So Tywin, go ahead and give me an athletics check.
Can I use strength instead?
Athletics is strength.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Proficiency table athletics is using your strength modifier, and if you're proficient in athletics, you also get to add your proficiency modifier.
Okay, it's just I thought it would be dexterity.
That would be acrobatics.
$18.
18. So you take a big deep breath, trying to prepare to throw it. As you take a deep breath, you immediately regret it because your belly is still very bloated from the mile of mouthing. You get in a stance, you take your arm down, and much like with the Olympian, whatever it's called in English, throwing the iron ball. No one remembers. You toss it upwards and it goes splash into one of the barrels. The large form, exactly, Nicholas. The large form takes the ball out, puts it to the side of the table, takes the keg in his hand, and then takes the large sip, slaps it on the table, and then looks at you, Tywin, and says, "Admirable throw. Very good."
Thank you.
He gives it another throw, and it throws high, and it lands in a barrel, just barely. You see it hit the side of the barrel, and then on the rim, it rolls a bit and then falls into. And he looks and takes his head to the side, makes a grimace. Not my best throw, but I will take it. And once again, you're going to have to empty a barrel, one of you.
I'm gonna do it.
Right, go ahead and give me another Constitution saving throw.
Yes, sir. That is okay, I just need to plus my constitution. 3!
That was a natural one, wasn't it?
Yeah!
You go in to try to drink of the barrel, and as you eagerly take a first sip, you manage to get it down the wrong pipe, which at least you're glad you still have it because you haven't quite noticed. And you start coughing it up, it goes out of your nose. You see it go out of some of the mouths to your side, which you weren't even aware that's how it works. And you just fountain of spewing it about. As you then try to go back down for another sip, and it just you can. As you take your head down after a few breaths, you start coughing again as you hadn't quite coughed the entire thing up. And in the end, it spills to the side. And the figure looks, well, if you can't finish it, we have to refill it. And he goes, puts the barrel up and refills it up to the brim.
I'm gonna drink it again!
All right, give me another check with disadvantage because you're still recovering.
With disadvantage. Shit.
Because you're just done coughing and heaving, and you're like, I'm going to give it another try.
Right. So the first one was 11 and then a 8. So it must be the 8 then.
The 8 after adding your constitution.
Yes, it's 8 after adding my constitution.
Right. Luckily, you do have a hidden bonus from your sin, so 8 is actually enough for you. So you rear back, you prepare, you take up the barrel, and despite coughing, you just put it into your gullet. And at this point, actually, you do it with such a finesse that your speaking mouth is coughing. So you pour it over yourself, and every mouth is just soaking it in like a sponge. Nothing hits the floor. Admirable.
Impressive but disgusting.
I believe it is now your turn to throw.
I want to try and take the ball and like absorb it from one mouth and then shoot it out of another mouth and try to hit something.
When you say something, I assume you mean a barrel.
Yeah, of course.
Just making sure. You could be trying to noggin.
I'm trying to hit the barrel.
All right. I'll still say that counts as an athletics check, even though you're using a different kind of muscle.
17.
17. You can write in your character sheet that Leonard is good at handling balls in his mouth. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Fits this game perfectly.
But the large form takes it into his hand, drinks deep, and slams it back down. And I believe... Thank you, Nicholas. I believe it's his turn to throw once again.
Yes.
All right. Once again, he throws up high, and it goes splash into one of the barrels. So who will empty it this time?
Tywin, you do it.
Well, I'll try, but let's just entertain the fact that I am not your size, and I literally just emptied a barrel the size of myself.
Fine, I'll do it.
Go ahead and give me that Constitution saving throw, Leonard.
Yes, sir. Is a 10 plus 2, 12.
Definitely do the trick. As you slam another back, and you're finding that you actually don't get drunk, but you do experience an overwhelming form of pleasure by consuming these casks. Yes, both mentally and physically.
I'm
Keep
gonna
it in
try
the
to
block.
throw again.
All right, go ahead and throw.
I'm gonna do it the same way, sucking it through one mouth and shooting it through another.
Yep, Leonard loves those balls in his mouth. Go ahead and roll me an athletics check.
You knew he was gonna do that, and you still want to do it.
You want me to do it. You just like looking grumpy on his live stream.
19 plus 1, 20. Not a natural one, but still 20.
Very good, as you would this time easily make a whole performance out of this. If you suck it in, it comes out of one mouth and then just swoops back in, and you can almost see it move from inside him as it makes this bulbous foam throughout the various tubes that is his mouth, and eventually just goes into one of the barrels.
I'll just do a Constitution save just to see if I start gagging from watching that.
On ahead, and depending on how difficult you think it is, I think you can decide for yourself how horrid you are.
Okay, I gag a little in my mouth, but I keep it in. Just like...
Very well. As you've once again landed, the creature looks a great performance, but I would like less spittle in my drinks. As it takes out the ball and finishes another cask. I believe he has 2 and you have 1 left, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I believe so. So
Yeah.
he's going to take a throw.
I would like to use the ancient art of cheating.
No.
Cheat.
Can't I like stretch my form, like stretch it real thin, so it's kind of just like an invisible like piece of film over the barrel, so if the ball hits, it will kind of bounce off without him noticing?
You can give it a try. Let's say, give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh, Tywin, my boy, we're lucky, I think. Sleight of hand plus 423, motherfucker!
Very good. The only problem is that there was just 1 roll beneath his shot. So you do manage to spread out paper thin and cover it, and you feel pretty comfortable. What you didn't account for was the fact that this is quite a strength-filled creature. As the ball goes up, you get ready to block it, and it goes through your body by sheer force of throw, and there is now a hole in whatever part of you there was. Luckily, being partially liquid, you can easily reform yourself.
That was my testicle.
However, no one notices that you are cheating, so you go unpunished for now.
But we just lost.
Did he hit the barrel?
He
Yeah,
did
did
hit
he hit the barrel?
It went
Yes.
to Leonard, who was paper thin. So I think we can only imagine what happens when paper tries to stop a bowling ball.
I would like to call redemption. If you know what that is, or shall I explain?
I think it's very cute that you wish for redemption in hell.
No, it's a beer pong rule where if you hit our last cup, we can call redemption, and then we have one shot to try and hit one of your cups, and if we hit the cup, the game's back on, and your shot didn't count.
So what, you just refilled both tables and start over?
No. We keep going with the same amount of barrels, so you would still have, what, 2? And we would still have that 1.
See, as you can tell, the Dungeon Master is unfamiliar with drinking games, but doing his best at trying to simulate them. Alright, the creature looks upon you. Again. I love your spirit for drinks, but in hell, I see no reason why I would accept the do-over when I
Okay.
cash
Chicken.
in my prize.
Yeah, chicken. You're just afraid I would win again.
What you will, but today you've lost.
Yeah, but you're not giving me a chance because you're a chicken. You're scared of me.
A chance in hell. You are humorous, friend. I give you that.
Prove that you're not scared then. Prove it. One throw. If I hit, we win. If I don't, we lose.
Listen here. I have nothing to prove. We made a deal, and the deal has ended.
Well, it hasn't ended until we actually admit defeat, hasn't it? Has it? And I'm in the middle of bargaining here, and I would say that it was a pretty good deal to actually one shot from me, myself, and I. If I hit one of your barrels, then we win. If I don't, then fuck it, we've lost. You get Tywin's soul once it's been cleared.
So, you want a chance of victory in trade of nothing.
Well, in trade of you proving that you're not just a big old chicken who's scared of some mortal soul who's already beaten you once.
I have another way to settle this. Why don't you and I take it outside?
Okay.
Come with me, then.
Can I whisper from one of my other mouths to Tywin to go find the coins?
You can, absolutely. So,
I'm
Tywin,
gonna do that.
you hear one of the mouths at the back as he goes around that you should rummage around and find out what you can nick off the tavern keep.
Yeah. How hard would that be?
You have no idea what's back there, so it's difficult to tell how difficult it might be.
No, I mean to like actually get there and rummage.
So to figure that out, you go ahead and you walk behind the counter, and well, there are a few many drawers, each with locks. all seem to be locked at the moment, and there is a key chain around the hip of the tavern keep. There's also a large door to out back, but you can't reach the door handle with your size. You need some way to fly up there and or climb up there, and then somehow weight the knob handle to the round to open up the door to the back room, where there might be something.
Okay. I'll try to do that, but without being seen.
All right. How do you wish to climb a door?
Well, most doors have different protruding plates of wood, ornate. So I'll just jump up and see if I can grab something to hold and then climb.
All right, you attempt to grab at the door, and you don't need to get that high up in the end. The handle is a lot further down than this creature's size. However, the door is mostly smooth, and it seems to be made of metallic material. As you try to jump up with your hands, you do feel it burn.
Dun 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 dun.
When Seek starts to notice, there's a lot of eyes in this place that seem to be on you. In fact, there seems to be one very spindly-looking, single-eyed creature that's only slightly taller than you by roughly 5 centimeters. Seems to come over, slightly hunched over, long tail of spikes, 3 claws on their feet. In almost an animalistic shape, and 1 back claw, long spindly hands, this orangey skin, and it comes over, tongue lashing out far beneath its chin. Is that a mortal soul I smell? And you just the most interesting thing around here.
Yes, and I have just lost my soul to the barkeep. So if you just scurry back, I guess, because
He looks greatly annoyed by this, but then takes a spin over towards Seek. Well, you, on the other hand, you don't belong to anyone, do you? I would like a taste. Tywin?
I know that I haven't consumed any souls, but I'm still going to try and procure enough mental capacity to see if I can do anything.
Very well. You try to search for something, but you feel like the remnant of arcanery that was in you has dissipated with your fiendish blood. You feel like you have the capacity to do so, but you're required to consume something to gather the energy that you see don't be able to compel it yourself. But there's always another alternative, though it's dangerous.
What's the alternative?
Well, as you become more human, you feel the deep brimstone of your heart subside, and you feel a light from within. You don't know what kind of force might be out there, but there might be something you could attempt to compel, though unaware how dangerous it would be to invoke such otherworldly names in this area.
I'll still try because, well, I'm not really the one that would be caught dead if it doesn't work.
Right, so what do you wish to say and or do?
I don't know, I'll do the sign of the cross and I don't
In
know.
nomine Patri et Filii et Sancti.
Yeah, exactly. Do a good old the power of Christ compels you, I guess.
Very well. Go ahead and give me a religion check.
Oh, Does that work with Arcana at any way?
No, it does not. This is a religion check.
Damn.
That's your intelligence.
Yeah, I know. It's just because my intelligence and the wisdom one is the one I have.
Gotta use all your smarticles.
3.
3. All right. Immediately in the same idea, give me a stealth check to see if you can do this without being noticed.
Nomine Patris, Spiritus Filii et Sancti.
19?
18.
18.
Yes.
You did a light cross across your chest, and you muttered in your hands, and you feel like you reached something out, but nothing was returned, and the creature seems to keep harassing Seek. You see the tongue getting close to slathering across his face and neck. You know, as far as I can tell, you're not very far from belonging to about anyone. What do you say? Want to keep being a good little soul in hell and be mine?
Is there
I hear
anything?
wedding bells.
Is there anything near, like knives or anything?
Sadly not. That would probably be in some sort of kitcheny back area.
Of course it would.
Use a cup.
Oh yeah, one of the barrels. How sturdy would that be?
They're pretty sturdy, but also quite heavy, but you could probably use them to toss at somebody if you got enough momentum going.
But what if I got the momentum to break it?
And the barrel would break, and you could probably grab one of the iron bands and slap over someone's head, or take wooden planks.
Exactly.
Stabby, stabby.
Then go full on staking on people.
Go full Michael Myers. Or Norman Bates.
Towards the barrel to do this, Teak is backing up against the counter, back turned to it, arms spread wide, looking for a place to run. As you're keeping an eye on that while heading for the barrel, you start seeing some of the other tavern people sitting in here go towards Seek and grab the shoulder of the fiend harassing Seek. Hey, I think this one's gonna be mine. I think that's gonna be over my otherwise dead body. And a tavern brawl is starting to ensue to who gets to claim Seek.
How easy would it be to sneak away then, when there's a tavern brawl going on?
Difficult to say. Seek is the target of it, but people seem to be very distracted at beating each other up as best as possible. So it's possibly possible.
I'll at least try to get Seek to where I am, so we can arm ourselves with iron bands and wooden stakes.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and roll a stealth check for Seek in that case, who is proficient in it, as I can see.
They're demons, not vampires.
No, but
Wooden
anything pointy can work.
So
I have a pointy stick.
And beckon him over to try to get away from this. They start to walk away, and suddenly you see a skeletal tail go around his feet as he's dragged towards it. And this somewhat large, four-legged creature of pure skeletal form that you had seen in the very first time you entered this place have wrapped a tail around Seek and is currently climbing the side of one of the walls, dragging Seek upwards. It doesn't even have a voice, it just
Hi, Mom.
You said it was skeletal, right?
correct.
So there is no muscles or tendons.
No, there isn't. Just skeleton.
Okay, I grab I grab the tail and I basically just yank two bones away from each other.
You go onto the tail and you try to disconnect some of the bones.
Yes.
You find that simply isn't possible. This creature seems to be held together by something more than just physical and law of physics. So you find yourself dragged up, clutching onto it, trying to help Zeke get free as it's climbing up the ceiling. It turns its head towards you.
I will try to use the power of Christ.
Right. That would expend 2 of your daily uses of who knows how many, but go ahead and give me a religion check.
Or maybe I can use Thor and get thunder out of it. I don't know. I don't know how this works.
Come on, I'm wishing you luck. I'm crossing both my fingers and my eyes.
19.
19. You speak a prayer within your breath and you start to climb up the creature's tail, putting your fingers in the small indents of the bone. You climb up to its head and you say into its own ear the words of Christ itself. As the creature seems to shudder with light energy, the whole tavern seems to grow silent as God's power is present in hell, where it should not belong, and everyone seems to have eyes on you, stunned for a moment. But you are falling down, colliding with the floor, taking a decent hit from the Mount Fallen, but you and Zeke are free at the moment, and everyone seems to stare at you with fury and hellfire in their eyes. We didn't know we were dealing with the faithful servants of that pig. We should gut you.
And we should run.
All right. Let's both go ahead and roll an athletics check to try to get out of here very fast.
When are we going to learn about my fight with the barkeep?
One stroll at a time, but we'll get to it soon, promise.
10.
10. Neither of you rolled high enough, so as you start running, these creatures are slathering behind you, running and chasing. You manage to get close to the door. You watch Leonard in that very moment as you get out close to the door barely. Creatures right in your heel. What do you want to do as you just get out the door? Managing to close it behind you, making certain that you aren't being watched. What do you want to do?
What?
Yeah.
You've just managed to run out the tavern door, closing it behind you. The creatures were right on your heel. It's only a matter of milliseconds before they slam the door open. What do you want to do? Is to try to break line of sight or do something to escape them, as they do seem to be faster than you?
If we hide behind the door, will we be hit by the door?
Possibly, depending on how hard they decide to slam it open.
I'll try.
All right, you grab Zeke by the arm, you go behind the other place at the door. Go ahead and give me a stealth check.
I just want to say it has absolutely nothing to do with the game, but my 2 chinchillas are having sex.
I thank you for that information, Nicholas.
Yeah, they're male, both of them.
You be judgy against them. They can like what they.
Oh, I'm not judging. I just think it's funny that they're brothers.
You just
13.
see it. How much?
13.
13. Door slams open. You get quite a large thwack to both your faces. You feel warm blood ichor out from your nostrils, and you realize that there's a lot of things you aren't as resistant to, because that was your vision gets blurry for a moment. Balance becomes hard. That was a big head to your noggin, but you are still standing. The creature seems to be crawling out from different sides of the street. Some people staying by the door to keep lookout and around. In that moment, as you are probably going to stick behind there, hoping for them to just ignore you, Leonard, you've got out in the street, dueling style, Old Western, standing front to front with just a few feet apart from each other. The creature, with his loincloth around its hip, grabs a broken sword hilt, empty of a blade, fracks it, and you see this chain-like blade appear made of infernal flame. Half whip, half sword, depending on how it's fracked against the ground. And he looks at you. Let's get to it.
Kratos. Right, come on then. Come on. I'll give you a free punch. Come on. A punch. The short thingy isn't free.
All right, he walks up. If you're so eager, then let's have a go. So he raises his left hand for a punch at you.
Right. I want to, wherever he's about to hit, I'd like to manifest a mouth and just kind of honk.
All right, you do so, and you take the punch, and as opposed to a lot of other things, this actually does hurt you. Not a lot, but you have a feeling that this guy is maybe tougher than a lot of other things you've had to deal with.
Eaten.
But yeah, your mouth is now around most of his fists, and you are chomping on it, I imagine.
I want to try and kind of like drag him into me.
Right? You attempt to drag him into you, but you more end up crawling up his arm, going further up his arm. And he thracks his flame whip, and it becomes a blade, and he starts putting it close to you, and you feel this immense heat, more so than the rest of the area, as the flame starts to burn into your body as long as you're holding onto his fist. You feel it start to slowly go through your skin and probably into his own.
So he's stabbing himself through me.
Perhaps you do see bits of flesh, bits of sweat go down his forehead, so he's probably feeling something at least. Either stress from eating him and him being actually afraid, or from the pain of him putting a burning blade through his arm.
I'd like to, when his blade gets close to me, I'd like to kind of like open up that part so like my skin is fleeing from the blade, and then continue to like crawl up him and consume him slowly.
Right, I would like to do a contested athletics check in that case as he tries to shake you off.
Contested?
That just means you roll an athletics check versus my athletics check.
Oh, okay. +16 plus. I think it's only. I think I've only got like one. Yes, +1.
All right, I rolled a 30.
Well, fuck you very much.
I appreciate it, Nicholas, but I'd rather not, honestly. No offense to you or your chinchillas. Joking aside.
So what happens?
So you're not hurt by it, but he's throwing his arm around. And the moment that you are letting go of some of your arm to avoid the blade, and you do manage so, you avoid the burning completely. In the same moment, he shakes his arm violently, and you have a hard time keeping on. And you find yourself climbing off the ground as he takes a step back, once again thracking the blade, making it into a flame whip again to keep some distance from you.
Did I do any damage? Like eat some of his arm?
There's tooth marks in it, and you tasted his flesh.
Was it good?
It was very good.
Can I like go into a frenzy and just ignore everything and just try to eat him?
So you charge towards his massive form and you try to eat him. I'm going to go ahead and make an attack roll against you as you're charging. 19 to hit against your armor class.
My armor class is 13.
Right, so that does hit. So you charge towards him, unrelenting in your pursuit. You feel the flame collide with you, giving you a whip towards the front as you feel the burning mark of it, and you in fact see your flesh sizzling, and you see the scar being formed. But where the whip was placed, you quickly manage to split in two for a brief second, float over it, and continue pursuit as you once again get close to him, and you start clattering up his legs, trying to bite into his feet.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat him.
That you are biting and biting and pulling teeth into him, starting to consume him. I would like you to give me an attack roll.
Yes, sir. Nat 20, bitch.
Well, damn. You manage to bite into his legs. He's trying to walk back, but he can't. You seem to having restrained as you're starting to collide around. Your form isn't quite massive enough to go around his, but you are starting somewhere, and you're biting his toes off, getting closer to the heel, and slowly making him smaller and smaller. He, in the same vein, tried to attack you, but ends up missing with the blade as he cuts down towards his legs, and you tend to form around and start to going at his heels, and keep moving around, swirling like a typhoon around him, switching place whenever he raises his sword. Yes, Tywind.
Can we see this?
You can.
Okay, I will try and do. Well, that would that be an acrobatics or an athletics? Trying to get the key
You
or the
could
key
both.
chain.
You can argue for both, but I would like to know how you want to do it acrobatically. Because athletics would just be simple jumping. But acrobatics.
Well, exactly. Run and jump, really.
I'll say it could be both, for whatever you feel more confident in. I can see the argument for both.
I am rolling. Mm, 17.
17. You managed to climb
Yes.
up as hang on. Leonard did say he went into a frenzy, so you do take a bite from him as he managed to pull his teeth into drawing some blood, but he does notice and doesn't take a full bite out, so you don't lose a limb, but you have been bitten and blood's drawn, which is causing a decent bit of pain, and you might have a limp for a decent bit, at least until that scene too. But you do manage to climb up, get a hold of the keys. You try to let go of his body and just hold the keys and nobody will drop down, but it seems that it's quite tightly attached to his cloth. But you are at them, at least. In the same moment, Leonard, as you continue this frenzy, I'd like to make another attack roll contested by mine, as you're both just trying to stab at each other wildly.
Yes, sir. Rightio. 15.
15 does hit, so you continue taking chunks out. You see that you've taken off one of his feet completely, going up towards the knee, and he in turns managed to take his. You didn't notice when he did it, as you're just focusing on getting him off and ruining him as fast as possible. But at some point, he switched back from the whip to the blade, as you feel something pierce from your back inwards. You manage to become once again liquid and dart around the side before it pierces you completely, but you're starting to feel quite hurt, having taken 2 cracks with his great weapon. Tywind, then we're back to you in this initiative order.
I will just try and strength yank the keychain away and using like my everything, my arms to pull and my legs to push.
Got it. Give me a just full-on strength check.
And your testicles to leverage. Be honest.
21.
It's the testicles.
You pull with all your might, you push with your legs, and you push and you push. In the end, you feel your feet leave his body. Your hands still around the keychain, falling backwards, downwards. I would like you to give me an acrobatics check to see if you can avoid landing directly on your back.
Yes.
How close to me is he?
Close.
And I'm seeing this, or am I completely oblivious?
You can definitely see this.
Can I try and like stretch some of my essence out so he gets a softer landing?
Be quite a stretch, and you would involve you essentially leaving the large beast.
Ah, fuck it, he's gonna be fine.
15 plus 1, so
Right. So with a 16, as you are falling down, you don't manage to make a safe landing, but you avoid what could possibly have been breaking your neck or your hip as we landed on those. You manage to get down, you do a superhero landing. Holy fuck, your knees hurt. But you are standing.
Deadpool called it.
You have the keys. He's wearing the tank top. What else am I supposed to do here?
Oh yeah, I hadn't noticed.
But you have the keys. You're on the ground. You've been hurt a bit by this, and you're feeling pretty terrible. There's a lot of things you've lost by becoming more human. Mostly you've become fragile
Yes.
again. That was a large fall. You got bitten in the leg. Blood is still oozing out. And the heat is not helping you with what would eventually become exhaustion from sheer heat. But
Yeah.
at the
I'll
moment, you're looking decent for this given situation.
Decent.
I'll
It's gorgeous.
to try and stop the bleeding. I'll take a piece of cloth, like rip it from my person, and
Absolutely.
bind it tightly around my leg.
Yeah, give me a
Try to
medicine.
make a tourniquet.
Yeah, just give me a medicine check for that. In the meantime, Leonard, once again, attack rolls. Let's go.
Come at me, bruh.
8.
19, motherfucker.
With an 8, your medicine check does not quite manage to do. You get them around, but the essence of the situation, the stress and the hurrying, you don't manage to tie it quite enough to stop. But it is at least something. It at least makes sure that most of the blood is now in the cloth and not on the ground.
Yes.
At the point of what's oozing out, you do start to hear the as the ground starts going through the cracks of the stone into the lava.
19, motherfucker.
I can't see, but I did hear you. So yeah, at this point, you take a deep bite with your largest mouth, and you take off his right leg by the knee as he goes down. In the same moment, sadly, in the very same moment, he raises his blade high above the ground, and with a retaliation attack of a natural 20, you find the blade going through most of your body, and the flame. At this point, you're noticing it starts to absorb you, and Leonard, you expire in this moment.
Shit. But I almost fucking ate him.
You did. You got a lot of him. You got almost his entire right leg.
Yeah, he was a big boy.
He was. He's more than an ogre to make it to relative fantasy settings. If anyone's familiar with devils in D&D, he is essentially the size of a monk with less eyes and horns.
The size of a what?
Okay.
A what?
Moloch.
I heard it as Balrog, and that's not from D&D. That's from Lord of the Rings.
It is actually also in D&D.
Yeah, but they took it from Tolkien.
They also took halflings from Tolkien, but not allowed to use the word hobbits because that's copywritten. But Balrog isn't. Anyway, that's what that might be next talk subjects of fantasy settings and where they're from. Leonard, as you expire, you find that this isn't what you expected. You expected to go wherever Kodaki might be, which is somewhere inside you. So you expected darkness, maybe to go to super hell. Yet you find yourself in a large liquid-like state. You are floating in what seems to be a tube around a large cauldron of bubbling orange liquid. And you see various similar creatures as yourself as you have arrived in the crucible of hellish creation.
Am I gonna get eaten by gluttony?
There's gluttony isn't around, but there's creatures like you. And what is going on is you are being reshaped like most fiends. Fiends don't die. They get to be recreated, and whoever is their boss gets to decide what happens with them after their recreation. However, recreation is torturous in many ways. The physical pain is excruciating, and the mental embarrassment that is sewn into your mind, like being humiliated. Defeat isn't just defeat around here. You get the feeling challenging someone to a duel. When you lose, you don't just lose honor, you lose self-esteem that you have to rebuild afterwards. Like your mental confidence is being torn apart.
I have a sword.
You do have a sword. It's very true. And you're a very good and special boy.
So I'm dead, but I'm not dead. But I am dead. but I'm not dead.
Correct, you are more fiend than human, and with your demise, your human goes wherever it belongs. Leonard is now fully a fiend, and thus you belong and have your anchor in hell at the crucible of creation.
Cool. I want to eat Tywin.
We'll get to that once you escape the crucible of creation, however long your reformation takes. For now, I'm sorry to say, Leonard, but I don't think you'll be relevant for the rest of the session. You can feel free to stick around if you want to, or you can go and have a drink and have a whatever you like. I don't think we're continuing much after this today's session, so I'll say it right now in case you want to leave. Thank you very much for playing, Nicholas. You have been both the biggest pain in my ass, but the greatest source of humor of this campaign at the same time. It's been a learning experience, and it has been a pleasure, despite our disagreements of what trying to get out of this campaign. But truly, thank you. And I hope you had a lot of fun. I'll definitely hear from you once today's stream is over. But for now, we turn our eyes to Tywin and Seek. Seek has stepped outside of the doorway to look at you, Tywin, to see if you're all right. A worried expression in his face as you seem quite hurt, looking around the various fiends, trying to keep hitting as best they can. What are you currently doing?
I'll try to get up and get back inside, really.
All right. Do you want to bring Seek with you, or do you want to go by yourself?
I want to go by myself, because then Seek has a chance to escape.
Very well. Go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Yes. And as I'm doing it, I am mouthing "run" to Seek.
Very well.
17.
17, very good. Despite these fiends looking around for you, you manage to hunker down close to the shadows. You follow the doorway inwards, doing a running slide just under one of these large fiends' legs. Manage to get in with the keys, and you run rampantly, furiously, but as quiet as you can towards the door. And in just a moment, as I roll for a Seek to try to get away. All right. So as you approach the door, what are you going to do to get up there? With the keys.
Well, I could reach the door handle, right? The doorknob.
Possibly. Go ahead and give me an athletics check to get up there.
First one of the game.
Damn, you try, but your feet slide. The blood of your leg seems to collide with the door, making it slippery. Your hands are sweaty from the heat and from the stress of the situation. It's just too difficult to get a good hold of anything, and this might be too difficult to climb. However, you do have the keys, and there's the various drawers, half of them which you can reach.
I'll try to see what's in the drawers.
All right, give me an investigation check.
16.
Very good. Also, we're finally getting to use some of those skills you put your proficiency into, like Arcana and investigation and such. Only took all the campaign to get there.
Yeah, definitely.
But you do go through them. You go through the jaws. There's a few documents in the language you don't understand. The first one, the second one has a couple of green stones, about 3, that are pretty much arm size, so very difficult to carry, but they could be useful. The third drawer you get to has a large fleshy leather bag. It's horrid to look at as it's crudely stitched together. You see one gold coin protruding from one of the very worn edges of it, where some of the threads are stretching a bit. You see various faces in the leather, as this is probably taken from, faces. Some human, some fiendish, various things that have been skinned and ruined to make this bag. But there are gold coins protruding out of it.
I know that this will be self-detrimental, but I inhale the 3 soul gems.
All right. As you inhale the 3 soul gems, you feel yourself humming with power once more, and you feel the heat get less bad, and you feel your leg starting to heal up, and you feel a bit better again. You feel like you can think straight. The heat isn't getting to you as bad. Everything feels a little bit better now.
I take the pouch, the bag, and I secure it to my person.
All right, you do. So you take the bag and the thread that's tied around, you attach it the best you can, tying the thread that is keeping the bag closed to your belt and your pants, making sure it sticks there, assuring it fine. All right, you have it. You have the pouch. There are coins in it. You don't know how many, but there's definitely enough coins that some of them are bulging.
Then I continue to search the drawers.
Very well. All right, you go through the next drawer, the fourth one. There are bottles of some description. They are corked and metal around to keep the cork in. Not sure what it is. You go to the fifth drawer. That drawer contains a few bowls of various writhing insects. Same you recognize on top of the counter. This is probably some sort of food, and these are the replenishment he has when they're filled. Sixth drawer. That has a bunch of cutlery, some knives, a few plates, various things to give the guests who are trying to eat there. And the seventh.
How are the knives?
What?
The knives. How are they found?
They seem pretty well sharpened, even if a bit crude. You take a finger to them. They come in various sizes depending on the size of the creature, accommodating for a wide variety of creatures in here. Most of them seem to be sharp, jagged, crude in fashion. But as you try to put your finger to it and you feel a small bit of a small bit of blood being drawn, this is probably more a fashion thing than to question their efficiency. They are well sharpened and might be quite useful if you're looking to stab someone.
I take one that would be roughly the size of my forearm.
All right, so you go ahead and grab it. This would qualify as this would qualify as a long dagger, and you can go ahead and grab it to your person as you have it. The handle of it is much like you'd imagine most just normal dining knives, but the blade itself is this hooked, crooked spikes and hooks around that probably seem that it seems like it would be made more to attach meat to it and eat it like from a meat hook, but you have a feeling this probably cuts perfectly fine. As a testament to how to when you touch the blade of it. The seventh drawer that you open up has various cloths, napkins, various things, and a somewhat small vial of see-through liquid in a square vial with a black cork on it. And there's a symbol on it that is a nail going through two snakes.
Oh, I take that bottle.
All right, you take a bottle.
That would be some kind of medicine. That's the staff of Hermes or something.
Perhaps, probably, maybe. You can try to give me a occult religion check if you want.
Yeah. 18.
You're spot on. It is, in fact, a medicinal potion meant to mend wounds.
I put it in the same pouch as the coins.
All right, you do. So you do have to jam it a little bit as you hit the clanking of coins, but you do fit it in there, and you have grabbed anything from the drawers you can reach without having to climb the drawers to the upper row. At this point, you start hearing footsteps around the tavern, as a few of them seem to be looking inside.
I start to return to the outside.
All right. Are you going to do it in a blazing run, or are you going to hide?
I'm going to hide.
Right, give me another stealth check in that case, and let's see if you get out of here alive.
Stealth check. Which saving throw would that be?
Stealth is not a saving throw. I can find your stat sheet and find it for you if you want.
Would that be dexterity?
Yes, I have your sheet here. You have a simple +1 to stealth because you're not proficient in it. So +1.
So 21.
21. Very nice. So You manage to go low. You take some of the cloth from one of the drawers. You use the knife to cut it a bit, managing to. You're not a tailor, but you manage to cut it off so there's at least a round shape for you to put your head into, and the rest can be fashioned as a strangely colored brown tattered robe that you put around to hide your face, and you use it to walk out of there. As you get it close to the ground, you do notice that occasionally embers do spark on the cloak, but not catching it fire as long as you keep moving, so it isn't stationary enough to lie on the rock. But strange enough that heat isn't getting to you, and you manage to, as fast and as quietly you can, to make your way out of Malborg. And at this point, as you approach outside of the city, you're looking for the river, correct?
No, I am looking for Seek firstly.
All right, give me a perception check.
17.
17. You're on a roll tonight. So you do manage
Yeah.
to Seek is running towards some direction. You see various soul shrieker birds seeming to go towards him as they were getting ready to pounce on him. But you manage to run as Seek is running a little slow, seemingly looking all around them over their shoulder all the time. Keep looking for something. And as you start to approach them, as they slow down, they lock eyes with you. Their expression lightens up. They seem pleased. And you manage to get up side to side of them, and you run together as the Soul Shriekers start to begin their dive towards you. What do you two want to do?
I use my Arcana and some of the power that I have consumed to make the knife basically multiply while bursting it towards them.
Very well. So you try to start a focus using one of your free charges. This is a somewhat simple arcane trick. As you make your single dagger into a cloud of daggers that seem to hover in front of you, and as you point towards various birds, it goes towards them. It seems to scare the two most front birds off, as they seem to rear back and form a formation, but they don't seem to give up as they smell the fresh mortal souls that they can claim. But you are keeping them at bay as you run with Seek, and you're starting to get somewhat close to the river as you're both forgetting to hide at this point, just full on blazing it towards it. The birds start to come in again. Is there anything you want to do to try to, well, fend them off again, as you at least held them off for the first round?
Did I use the knife or just multiply it?
You multiplied it and you used the copies of it, but you're still keeping your knife because you didn't say you wanted to discard all of them. So I'm guessing you kept the quote-unquote component for it in case you wanted to do it again.
Yeah, I did. I'm going to, keep Seek behind me and turn towards the Soul Shriekers and just ready my stance for if they come down.
All right, they are slowly leaving their gaseous clouds of the sky and heading downwards. And as they approach you, at this time getting within earshot of them, you hear that familiar shriek that they produce whenever something gets near. Sorry. Sinners! Sinners! Sinners!
How much? How many charges do I have?
You still have 2 charges. However, depending on what you try to do, you spend multiples.
Yes. What I will try to do is, how many charges do I have of the religion thing?
You don't know, but you feel like there's a usage of it, that you can only be given the grace of the Celestials so many times. But
Yes.
it's always worth a try if you are desperate.
Okay, I will try to basically use the power of the Heavenly Sun by, technically casting Holy Light and amplifying it with a charge of the Arcana.
Right. So as you try to seek in and put your faith towards the Celeste, you seek inward, you close your eyes a moment, you make a prayer, and you search for that light inside you that you felt in the tavern. It isn't there.
Okay. Would it be 1 or 2 charges to just straight up, well, firebolt them?
You can absolutely give it a try. Do you want to try to expend them to basically use a fireball?
Well, technically, something between a fireball and a meteor strike.
All right.
That's why I
absolutely.
1 or 2.
Go ahead and give me an Arcana check to see if you can expend this, because that's getting a bit more complicated.
18.
Damn, very well. So you take a moment, as you were running with and keeping an eye, at this point, you just put your heels to the ground, you slide across, you turn around, you let your large cloak billow in the wind as you spread your arms and you form them together, trying to form an orb of fire. You see embers from the cloak fly up to your hand, and it just seems to simmer out and nothing happens. And you try to focus some more, and there's just nothing in your hands. And that's when you notice the floor beneath your feet start to rumble a little. And you see the magma beneath the ground is going up towards your hands, swirling in between them, forming this liquid orb that you seem to be in control of. You feel the cloak leave you floating behind the wind. The heat emanating from around you, from the lava that you're holding in your hands, seems to make most wind and cloth fly upwards. As the birds get close, you grab the orb in one hand, you feel the singeing of your skin, but no pain, as this is your own arcane power. Your charges protect you from any damage you will take as you hurl a magma orb towards them. It flies up towards the sky. It collides with the first bird charging, attaching to it like a sticky glue, and it continues. The bird flies with the orb as it approaches the 2 other birds that are flying, putting them all near each other as they approach the orb, as it then seems to leave these tendrils out to grab the birds and combust as magma rain falls down, and you see these birds fall to the ground, extinguished, expired, murdered.
I just fall to my knees and just thank whatever made this possible, that it worked.
As you're having a moment of peace, Seeks turns around as you're getting close to the river, walks over to you and puts an arm around your shoulder. Hey, that was awesome, Tywin, but are you okay? You don't look too good.
No, well, technically I just had to sacrifice more of my humanity to save us, so I think I'm back at square one, but it's given us a chance, right?
No. I'm sure it's fine. You mean you did something good? You saved another life? That's a good thing, right? I'm sure everything's fine. It'll be fine, Tywin, right?
Yeah, I don't know how things work down here, but I had to consume souls to do it, and we both know that that's not a good thing, so
Tywin, I don't want to
I
go
don't know.
without you. You're my best friend I've had, and I'm not ready to go home if you're not coming with me.
I know, but we'll figure it out, but yeah, I just made it harder for myself. But let's see if we can get anything to protect ourselves from these creatures. Maybe we can get something that can protect you also.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna try and loot the bodies.
They are considered beasts. You can get their feathers. You can take some of their talons off. Maybe a foot with your dagger. Otherwise, there isn't anything to collect really, other than their own body parts.
Okay, so some feathers and So a foot with talons would be, and a piece of cloth would basically make a claw, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to, well, attach a claw with the talons inwards on the Zeke's dominant hand, so that he has something to protect himself with.
Oh, thank you. I think I'm not super big on fighting things, but I'll try. I'll try to if it helps us.
Yeah,
But I really think we should go
yeah.
now,
This
Simon.
is not thi- yeah, but this is for defensive use, not offensive.
Oh, I can do
So let's
that.
go.
Right. So you head towards the river, and once again, as you approach, the same strange man on the boat approaches upwards from the magma, looks at both of you. I see you've done well so far. While I have a question, first of all, Tywin, you are aware I can take Zeke with me, but your horns are back.
Yes.
You did this for Zeke, yes?
Yeah. I had to sacrifice my humanity to save someone else, and that is good enough so far. Here are 2 coins for him.
Well,
I did.
I am more of a neutral party here in hell. I was here before the fall of the divine. I think I can sway a few things if you'll indulge with me.
At least get him out first.
Sure.
You can always come back for me.
Both of you, join me on my boat.
Well, sure.
Zeke grabs
I
hold of your hand as he gets on the boat, and yeah, as he sees a moment that you're doubting, he tugs you, and you definitely get the feeling that Zeke won't go unless you at least follow this far. As you start floating down the
I
river.
follow along then.
For the first time in this infernal place, while you're on the boat floating down the river, the heat subsides, pain subsides, the sky is quiet, no shrieker, no blast in the background. The crater's still standing, but it's almost like time is standing still, and the only sound you hear is the sound of the ore through the magma and the bubbling of the ocean. That is of flame. Yet, it's not warm, it's not cold either. The air is still, and there is nothing. It's quiet.
I just sit down and relax, really.
And you can. This has been, well, hell this entire journey. Thrown into a party, plunged into hell like the fall of man and angels in the old stories. Forced to reside in a place that you didn't feel you deserved, tricked by otherworldly beings into a prison. Fighting every hour, every second in a land that itself tries to kill you and corrupt you. People that only mean you harm. Yet, in this moment, It's nice to think that through these hard times, these trials, this land that has helped shape you into whatever you are, has also made you friends. Most of them might be dead and gone, but Zeke is here. Zeke has been the only person so far who seems to have been, however naive as you are well aware of what's going on around him, but genuine and true of heart. And as sad as it is that you really want to go home, a part of you feels right that Zeke didn't have to stay here. It didn't feel right. The other two may have committed sin. Zeke, it's hard. Zeke didn't seem like he belonged here, and it feels good. You feel like you may you can probably come out at some point, but you've done well. And there is some satisfaction in the notion of doing philanthropic good deeds in a place like this. It's funny to think that the time you did the kindest for another person would be in hell, taking the punishment so they didn't have to.
It's nice to put away your pride and make sure that someone else gets out.
Oh, Tommy, I've noticed, wink. Zeke goes on and on, talking about the adventures, about what he wants to show you when they get back to the place. He wants to show you the forest. He asks you to show you around town. You're trying to pay attention, but really you just want to lay back in the boat and just enjoy this moment. And you find yourself sailing for hours. It takes a good while to get there, but eventually you see an upwards draft where you watch a waterfall, an actual waterfall. As it strikes the ground, as the water falls down, it becomes magma. And here, the creature turns around and takes the 2 coins, puts them in his palm, and places one on each of the eyes of Zeke, and just says, "Shh, now you're free of this place. You don't belong here. And I ferry people to where they belong, regardless of what their sins believe." And Zeke becomes ethereal and floats away, the coins clattering towards the bottom of the boat as he picks them up and puts them in a pouch. Now there's you, Tywin.
Yes.
As much as you might have done, I see your skin and your horns. So what do you plan to do in hell for eternity?
I plan to find a way to redeem myself. But at least until I find that chance, I'll find comfort in knowing that what I did made someone else get out of here.
You know, I'm always a fan of irony. And the creature grabs at your horns on your head, and you hear snapping and cracking, but no pain, as you see both your horns cracked off in his hands. His skeletal hand with taut skin, he licks it at his tongue, which can barely be called a tongue, and he smudges it across your cheek, and you see red color on his finger. Looks like every disguise falls off so easily. Now tell me, Tywin, was it so hard to show your true colors? To put that prideful facade aside?
Surprisingly harder than I thought it would ever be.
Now, I'm no angel, but I'm no demon either. I won't tell you how to live, but I will ask that you're honest. And he places a coin on one eyelid, then the other. I hope This has been a learning experience for you. As you fade away and you open your eyes again, you feel heat against your face. You smell the smell of freshly cut grass. A cool wind flies by as you open your eyes to a bright blue sky. The sun is out in the air. You're laying in grass, which explains the smell. Trees around you, laying atop a hill as you can look down upon the city. You look out towards the arbor and you see that warehouse is long gone, wherever it may have gone. Look beside you, and Zeke is there, tears in their eyes, and they embrace you and said, I didn't think I'd see you again for a moment.
Me neither. And I just, start laughing and, tears of joy streaming down my face and just laugh.
That, everybody, is the end of the journey through and in the end out of Malborg. I would like to thank, even though not everyone is here to hear it, all of the players who participated. To thank Tommy for being here and being a good sport and playing along, and congratulations to him for finding a way out of what is in reality a very difficult campaign, because a lot of the things are hard to figure out what to do, but he got there in the end.
With some very impressively lucky rolls, I might add.
Oh yes, the end was definitely tough, as it definitely wasn't the most efficient way, but with luck, good heart, good role play, and some fun along with your friends, we made for a damn fine story that I hope Dystopia and the audience will remember. And I'd also like to thank Sana, of course, playing Seek, for an outstanding performance of sticking to her guns, being a very weird and tacky character who fit beautifully into the party as some sort of glue to unite them, even if mostly by guilt of harming such an innocent creature, but it worked greatly. I would like to thank Nicholas, who played as Leonard, for being a admittable annoyance, but in the friendly way, and a permanent comic relief and stepping stone for me to get over, along with Stefan as Kordaki, who have both just lollygagged their way through hell. But in the end, it was good that they were here. It meant for some opposites in the party, some differing opinions, and it made for some contest of players with some good role play. I'd like to thank Jonas, head of Dystopia, who was the guest and played the Tormentor. I gave him a few instructions and he just took it and ran with it. Most of the dungeon and the dinner table was his entire thing, so it was lovely collabing with him for that and making for a bit of story, even though I was a little sad he just gave the players a free pass out of the Tower of Avon. But to be fair, I'm better at that than them dying there, and that's the end of the story. I'd like to thank Rasmus, our IT guy, who has been excellent, patient, and quick at fixing everything. He has made this so good for me to stream, because I only have to worry about the story and my players. All this technical stuff of the stream, he has a hard iron hand on it, and he just got it. So even though you don't hear him much on stream, he is excellent. It's been a joy to DM for these players, and I hope they'll allow me to do it again. And once again, thank you for those out there listening, paying attention, for keeping up with us through this entire strange escapade. With that said, remember to support the things on stream. I won't go into it anymore. I've said it enough. My final words will be thank you, and then I'll give it over to Tywin/Tommy for his final words, as we have made it out of hell.
Yeah, that was a journey. Who knew that literally being sinful at the end, destroying souls, using them to power the magic, would, surprisingly enough, help us all get out of there. Well, the rest of us. So thanks for the journey, and thanks for the game. It's been fun. It's been weird. It's been terrifying. at sometimes it's been perfect. So have a nice evening, and I'll probably see you guys again if we ever do this again.
Let's hope so, and goodbye.